G'day guys and welcome back to another video on my channel, Nintendo Down Under. If you watched my last video, we went through some Nintendo 64 games that are a major big possibility coming to the NSO app on our Nintendo Switch. We know that Nintendo is planning to add 22 more, minimum 22 more Nintendo 64 games to the app. One of those answers were answered last week with Pokemon Puzzle League now being announced. So we know we have 21 more, at least minimum games. And last video, if you watched it, we were very realistic about games, that there's no rights issues that they can throw on today. Today is being proper naughty.
We can give it a nice little spank. Everything in life is better with a little spank.
We're going to talk about the games that have a few issues, but can they be worked out? How good would they be to be added to the service? We're going to have some fun with this one. Stick around, here we go. So we're going to talk about the elephant in the room right away. Rare games in the 90s. When it comes to N64, some of the best games that we've spoken about so many times, and you all know out there, were made by Rare. We're talking Banjo-tooie, we're talking Conker's Bad Fur Day, we're talking GoldenEye, Perfect Dark, and DK64. Hang on a minute, DK64, wait a minute. Wasn't DK64 released on the Wii U Virtual? Yes, it was released on the Wii U console. Hang on a minute, why can DK64, a Rare game, come back to a Nintendo console when Rare belongs to Microsoft right now? Well, that's a very simple and easy answer. Yes, Rare made some of the best 90s DK games going around, but Rare was given permission by Nintendo to use DK as a character for their games. Conker, Banjo, Perfect Dark, games like this, Rare made these characters up. So when Rare packed its bags and headed to Microsoft, they took their characters with them, but they couldn't take Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong needed to stay with Nintendo. So if you're like me out there and you want more Rare games, well then DK64 looks like a very obvious choice for me because it's been on the Wii U Virtual Console before. It's the talk of the town at the moment. DK64 remaster is coming out again. There's plenty of whispers with that. Yes, we had Banjo Kazooie on the Switch, the NSO app. So you would think it would make sense for Banjo-tooie to come out, and I really love to see that. Banjo-tooie, when it was released in 2000 on the N64, it used Nintendo's processing power, all its absolute power, to the max to make this game. And because it used its max and it pushed the boundaries and the limits of what the N64 could do, sometimes the game had a few glitches and the frame rate couldn't keep up. So to be re-released on the Nintendo Switch, if you've never been interested in owning an Xbox and you don't want to play it in Rare Replay, then that would make a lot of sense. If Rare and Nintendo are working a lot closer together and Banjo-Kazooie's come out, then it would be awesome to get Banjo-tooie to come. But obviously Nintendo need to do something for Microsoft there. Microsoft's not just going to give you Banjo-tooie for free. They must be doing some sort of payment. They might be doing, well, if you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours later in a future game. Who knows, but that could make a lot of sense and is very realistic to come to the app. Another classic in Diddy Kong Racing could make a lot of sense, and not just make sense, could make a serious bucket load of money. I know a lot of people out there, even some of my subscribers watching this video, are so keen for a new Diddy Kong Racing game, Diddy Kong to be re-released on the Switch, a Diddy Kong remaster, any sort of Diddy Kong content is definitely wanted by a lot of fans out there. Yes, they did Diddy Kong DS Racing, but it wasn't the same. We didn't have Banjo there, we didn't have Conker there, because Nintendo and Microsoft were definitely not chummy then. But now that Nintendo and Microsoft are chummy, it'd be very easy for them to re-release the game, so we could have Conker, we could have Diddy. The game would be so awesome. I would be very keen for it. They don't need to do a full remaster. That is for another day. A Diddy Kong Racing 2, that's for another day. Just for now, give us Diddy Kong Racing on the Switch. Oh my goodness, if Nintendo wants to invest in that, the money return of the amount of subscribers, excuse me, coming to the Switch Online app would be huge. Oh man, even if they up the tier, I would up it and pay it just to play Diddy Kong Racing once again. Yes, I've got my N64 and I've got my original Diddy Kong Racing, but when I play that on my smart TV, it just doesn't look the same. I don't feel like standing up all day at my kiosk, my feet get sore. I want to relax with my Switch, portable Switch, play Diddy Kong Racing. Please, Nintendo and Microsoft, make that happen. That is so realistic and definitely can happen. Conker's Bad Fur Day, that one there for me is a little more tricky. In terms of Nintendo, they don't really enjoy that crude MA humor on Nintendo consoles anymore. They're all about their family-friendly inclusiveness, and it's a bit more crude as we know. And I can't see them bringing the game and toning the content down and making it a bit more family-friendly PG. It would ruin the game. You know, instead of fighting the Great Mighty Pooh, you're fighting the Great Mighty Lemon and he's throwing lemons at you. That would be silly. I don't think Nintendo's going to pursue that. I think there's a massive cult following of people out there that would be so keen to see Conker's Bad Fur Day, including myself, come to the NSO app. But I think if Nintendo's going to invest money into rare games, they're going to pick different IPs, not the Conker's Bad Fur Day. I am happy to stand corrected on that one and be proven wrong if that happens, but it's very unlikely if you ask me. So what's the chances of some of the best shooters, Perfect Dark and GoldenEye, coming to our Switch online service? Well, Perfect Dark is a more superior, better graphic, better handling game than GoldenEye, but GoldenEye has that James Bond nostalgic feel. If you didn't know out there, yes, the same people that made GoldenEye made Perfect Dark, and if you played both games, you definitely know it. A lot of similarities in it. Now, Perfect Dark is very unlikely unrealistic. In terms of a new Perfect Dark game is planned, Microsoft Xbox is working on a number 2 Perfect Dark. I can't comment too much on that because I don't really know a lot about it, but I know in the pipelines that is definitely happening, that is developing. So Microsoft Xbox going to hold on to that IP tightly and promote it and do whatever they want to do with that. It would be awesome to get it on the Switch online service. I know, play multiplayer with that. It's a really awesome game, but a bit unlikely. And when it comes to GoldenEye, it's absolute tricky, sticky, webby mess when it comes to this. We know the GoldenEye remaster has been made and done, and we thought the past month or so that it was going to be released, but it just has not been released. Let's speak about a just complete release of the game as it is. Might be coming to Rare Replay or NSO, but that hasn't happened. I really don't know where to go with this one. I've made a lot of videos in the past couple of weeks. If you're new to my channel and you want to know more about this GoldenEye topic, because I've gone quite in depth about it, then please head over to those videos now and check them out. Let me know what you think of that over there. But right now, GoldenEye coming to the NSO app, I have no idea. I'm going to put it out there right now. I have no idea. I could predict something from all the information I'm seeing, all the information other people are talking about, that this is the direction they're going to go, and it can be completely flipped and they're going to go this way. We know the remaster, remake is sitting there ready to go. We know GoldenEye the game is also sitting there, can be released, ready to go. But there's so many issues that we've spoken about in terms of rights and world politics and this and that and that. I don't want to get into it too much in this video because I've done it so many times. So the chances of this happening is either no chance or 100% chance. Like, we just don't know because no one's coming out and denying it, no one's coming out and saying it's happening. It's just, nothing's happening. It's a really complicated one. It's sitting there ready to go. It's not released, it's not ready to go, it's coming, it's not coming. It is so tricky, and I know a lot of you out there like me are frustrated and going like, what is going on? Some of you have a lot of hope, some of you are saying it's just not going to happen. In the comments down below, let me know what you think of that one straight away, because that one is a mess. But I don't know, it's a really hard one to predict. I hope it does happen. Again, I played GoldenEye recently on my N64, but the smart TV, it's just not the same. Re-release it, get that remaster out, or re-release the HD emulator on the N64 app, put it on Microsoft, just do something with it. We need to know what is happening with this game. What about some of your less popular Rare games? Don't get me wrong, these games are still awesome, but they're no GoldenEye or Banjo Kazooie. We're talking Blast Corps, we're talking Jet Force Gemini, we're talking the Killer Instinct game. Will these games come to the NSO app? I don't think so, because Nintendo's not going to want to prioritize and spend money on Rare games that say half of us like when they can spend money on something that 80%, that 90% of us have played and liked to get more people subscribing and playing to their service. So for these games to come, might be much more of a long shot. But in saying that though, it might cost Nintendo even less to get these games because they're not as popular. We'll have to wait and see on that one, but I think it's very unlikely. One rare game we definitely won't see is this one right here, Mickey's Speedway USA. Yes, it's a rare game, it's a racing game, but you know what? It's going to be tricky because yes, it's a rare IP, Nintendo has nothing to do with it anymore, but you got all these Disney characters in it, so it becomes even more rights, contracting issues. So that one there, if you were holding your breath, for some people that love that game over Diddy Kong and Mario Kart, then I think that is an almost zero chance game to come to the NSO app. But in the comments down below, let me know your thoughts on these rare games we've spoken about today. Some of these games, well actually most of these games are absolute classic bangers. I would be happy to see all of them come, but it's very unlikely. And if Nintendo's going to pick and choose maybe one or two, is it any likely we might see some over the others? Some of your favorites there, are you keen? Are you holding out hope? Let me know in the comments down below, because I'm always keeping hope. I'm always excited. I'm always hoping that Diddy Kong Racing will be announced tomorrow. I'm always hoping that GoldenEye is coming next week. I'm always keeping an eye out on my phone, on my laptop, keeping the ear out, talking to people, interacting with you guys in the comments down below. I'm just, yeah, always going to be excited, always have to be optimistic, because you never know what might happen tomorrow. When Banjo Kazooie was announced, I didn't think that was going to happen, and it did, so you just never know what tomorrow will bring. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and until next time, take care.